speaking about being a pioneer, it's true. The world and the word pioneer, pi, P-I. That's everything. On, near, and we're near it. A bit like that, on the edge. Pioneers, often, more often than not, in fact all the time, are on the edge. Huh? No doubt about that. So, with that in mind, people have got who are backseaters, who have to just give it up and admire that they are backseaters. Not admire someone else, just admire the fact that they're backseaters. Because that's where everything gets confused, and that's where all the pain happens, all the conflict, aggression, totally unneeded violence as well, because of people's misunderstanding, but their commitment to not trying to understand. That's what caused everything this summer. Everything. And it's been documented though. So these people that got named, they did, because they got named all along. When I went into this, right, almost 5 years ago, seriously, as in bringing these people out online in front of people, it was, of course, the people who I was bringing out fucking fully well knew what I was doing, but it was only the people around me who didn't, because the only reason why, I mean, it's very much clear for me to see why, is because they felt that they, like I said, it's this jealousy thing. It's weird, because I'm not a jealous person. I don't care. I don't really care about jealousy. I fucking don't. I'd rather not get hung up on that, because I know how nasty it may feel. It's not as if I've never felt jealous, but I've felt it enough to realise it's shit. But to have that as your default mind state, where you think anything that happens to you is by someone else, by an external entity apart from yourself, is done through a malicious, jealous attack. And it's not, by any means, if it's righteous. Because righteous attack is only coming to try and put you right. I know that might sound self-righteous, but this is what I've been doing and putting my life on the line for doing as well, by admitting this. Because in this day and age, you know how dangerous it is to admit that you're good. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing to do. But I obviously there were people around me which they were when I said the veil was so thin, I was talking to these people really, is that everything that they were saying about me, and they're coming to concluding about, I'm sorry to bring it down to me, but it had to, because we are kind of the examples in a way, where, and I will have to use this word, archetypical, not archetypal, archetypical. I don't know whether it's a new word or not, but I'm not heard it being used. I use archetypal, but this is archetypical because everything around me, it's so typical. It's so fucking typical almost archetypical. Well, it is archetypical. Everything. There's been something imposed on humanity, which has overridden the overlay. And we, the pioneers, all seeing pie on near pioneer, pushing the boundaries of existence, of life, of the possibilities. We are the ones. It doesn't really matter whether you're alpha or omega. There's a big, it's going to be a confusion about who is the alpha male and shit like this. And it doesn't really matter. It does not matter. Because there's counterfeit alphas everywhere. I know one very well. I'm not a counterfeit alpha, but I don't claim to be an alpha male. I don't. I never have claimed to be an alpha male, but this is what he... Or you often find the counterfeits claim to think that they are. And they're not. Because this is where the weeds get weeded out. And it's psychological. It's all psychological. Now, I've mentioned in the past films about smoking weed, acid, stuff like that. This is very much, bear in mind I'm very well trained, yeah? As a mechanism for people, as a buffer, really. Because if I was to come out with some of the things that I said or say, and I hadn't been under the influence of either weed, psychedelics, or DMT, if I hadn't just been a normal person, normal run-of-the-mill member of the public, I would have been fucking killed, taken out. You know it. I would have been absolutely slaughtered. The fact that it's where society plays itself back. This is where this transmutation occurs within the drug culture. I've got to talk about this to people because I know it very well, and I'm very coherent and can talk about it in depth. It's probably one of my fortes, yes. Apart from, I love music, but it kind of goes hand in hand with it, with everything. Especially the past 20 odd years. And beyond that, I recognise though, because of my experience with people who went those trails, who blazed those trails, hands-on experience, with them, as in like interactively working with them in a what we call cosmic sense. It's more of a universal understanding when you start jamming with people. Well, you don't know them from Adam, But you just get on a jam, and before you know it, 10 hours later, you're family members. You literally are. It's literally like that. So this is how close music, especially, it's like a meditative music, especially when you're jamming on, for a long time, in a nice jam situation. There's no disturbances or anything like that. It's meditative, and you can get onto a groove. And this is what unites people like this. But that's not to say that no one else cannot do this. It's just that this type of buzz, feeling, transcends any drug. In my book, absolutely. The feeling of a jam, you can go into it just pure, straight off pure spring water. Wouldn't need a drink or anything, or smoke. I would just be rushing off the euphoria of having a jam. Of course, when you mix a bit of weed, LSD, whatever else can get even more flowery. But like, this is where, you know, it kind of like does trip itself up as well. I know the pitfalls very well. I've kind of like walked the path a bit, I guess. Walked the walk. But I've not exactly talked the talk yet, because I'm still cutting my teeth doing that. But I think I can get out, I not think, but I know I get on a good flow when it comes to talking about shit like this. It's kind of like, I know I use swear words and be casual with my wordage, you know, but this is what I didn't want myself to refine it too much to come across as like, because you can only come across to a certain variety of people in that sense. I want to be like all encompassing, which I can be. I'd rather not talk, like I said. I'd rather do it through music, or like lyrics, or prose poetry. I'd rather not like be a presenter, and I didn't want to be a presenter, and I did find it very difficult, I guess. I've kind of like the way I got around it was just to fucking amuse myself with myself, because I know I'm quite funny, and I know that that's another thing. People who know me, they'd be fucking well amused, but it must stir something in them. Tweaks this something deep down in them, which will not let this breathe. Oh, hasn't. And it's kind of like people, of course, across the seas, across the pond, people everywhere has kind of recognized this. That my main form of ignorance, I was kicking off at people online, people like John X and Jeff Doherty and Richie from Boston, Ricky David Icke, all of them really, every single one. I mean, like I said, the only one that actually got back to me once, and it was few words, was freaking John X. Now, like, considering what I was doing, people still don't understand. I'm still here on the friggin' A6. There's a bus going past there, right above the dog room parlour, and I was putting my time on the line. I was putting my life on the line, in a way. I was. That's what I thought I was doing, just to show people. So what I can do, and not give a shit. And I expected some help. I did expect some help, I gotta say. I expected some